直接点下一页。
嗯，
Okay, okay. Okay, so
好，
hello everyone. Thank you for taking the time to review our presentation. Today we're going to talk about the strategic overview of Atheleta. We'll walk through Atheleta's business model, the corporate strategy, and the competitive environment, and the three major strategic risks. I'm Terry.
好然，
I'm Angie.
Okay. So, speaking of its overview, the Athleta is a subsidiary of Gap Incorporated, and it operates as a premium women's performance and lifestyle brand. It offers a broad ranges of like products, and including yoga, swimming, leggings, bras, and etc. And it serves customers through a strong digital retail presence and also over with over 250 stores in North America. So for the business strategy, we use the OAS framework to analyze it. So its objective is to grow Athleta into leading women's athletic and lifestyle brand. And it has several advantages. The first one is the accessible premium price point due to its unique positioning. And the second one is its strong omni-channel skill due to its mother company Gap. And the B Corp certification also reinforces its commitment to ESG, which increases its ESG strengths as well. So when it comes to the scopes, the company mainly focus on women's and girls apparel, primarily in North America. And as I said, it has online and offline channels, which also enables them to the digital and retail distribution. So we use the Porter's Five Forces framework to analyze its competitive environment as well. So the first one is going to be the rivalry. So the skill is going to be comparatively high because it faces like large competition, including like Lululemon, Alo, Nike, and Under Armour. So the threat of the newer entrants is going to be relatively moderate. So the threat is particularly coming from like other fitness and fashion brands, and the supplier power is also moderate. It mainly focus as the company focusing on like concentrated Asian manufacturing brands, and the buyer power is going to be high because like the customers in this room is highly price sensitive, and they're also trend driven, and they do have a lot of like alternatives that they can go to, and the substitution power is going to be moderate. So it's especially going to be coming from the fast fashion brands, and so this overall implicated that Athleta faces continuous pricing pricing pressure and a relatively high competitive environment. So which also implies that it probably has to like invest heavily in differentiating in order to maintain its market share. And now I'm gonna pass on to the next speaker.
uh, now let's talk about the strategic risk for Athleta. The first major strategic risk is brand dilution and weak differentiation. Athleta competes in a crowded space with substantial overlap in product lines and brand positioning. Its accessible premium strategy can create a brand identity crisis caught between mid-tier athleisure and high-end performance brands. Downside risks include high margin pressure, difficulty sustaining pricing power, and diluted brand meaning. On the upside, Athleta's approachable price point expand its potential customer base and give it the opportunity to win in the youth and growth segments, where Lululemon has weaker penetration. Next slide. The second strategic risk stems from Athleta's dependency on Gap for capital governance and operations. The downside risks include capital constraints that reduce growth investment, operational instability due to leadership turnover, and cost-cutting cycles that limits R&D and marketing spend. However, there are meaningful upsides, including Athleta benefit from Gap's economy of scale, broad omni-channel network, and lower operational overhead. Those advantages are smaller competitors don't have. Even so, this independency reduces Athleta's ability to control its long-term strategic direction. Next slide. The third strategic risk is supply chain concentration and product quality risk. Athleta depends heavily on manufacturing in Vietnam, Indonesia, and China, regions exposed to geopolitical, inflationary, and operational disruptions. Downside impacts include inventory shortages, seasonal launch delays, and inconsistent quality. For upsides, greater supplier diversification could lower long-term costs and reinforce Atheleta's ESG brand positioning through more sustainable materials and responsible manufacturing. And now let's talk about the risk mitigation strategies. The three major strategic risks we outline our recommended mitigation strategies for Atheleta across the three major strategic risks identified earlier. For risk one, brand differentiation, Atheleta should increase investment in technical fabric R&D, build micro communities through studio partnerships, and further expand its used product line to create clear separation from Lululemon. For risk two, corporate governance, we recommend establishing a semi-independent governance structure with Gap, securing a dedicated capital for Athleta's growth, and improving transparency with standalone performance metrics. For risk three, supply chain resilience, Athleta should diversify suppliers into Latin America and India, implement dual sourcing for major fabrics, and adopt AI-based supply chain forecasting. These actions strengthen Atheleta's brand clarity, operational autonomy, and supply chain stability. Next slide. Atheleta and Lululemon also share an industry-wide strategic risk, ESG and sustainability compliance. Both companies rely on high-impact materials and Asian manufacturing, and both face tightening US and EU reporting requirements. Yet their approaches differ greatly. Lululemon leads with technical innovation, developing proprietary fabrics and investing heavily in R&D. Atheleta, through its B Corp status, emphasizing transparency and value-led compliance. Lululemon's approach is more scalable and innovation-driven, while Atheleta is certification-driven and more limited by its parent company's resources. Now let's pass to next speaker.
I'll continue with our comparison of the two companies and present our final recommendation. When we look at Lululemon and Atheleta side by side, the structural differences become very clear. Lululemon benefits from strong pricing power and a healthier margin profile, which gives it far more flexibility to reinvest in innovation and expansion. It also has a meaningful global footprint, especially in China, Europe, and the UK, which significantly increases its long-term growth potential. With the creating defensible product differentiation. Its independent governance model allows for more consistent and strategic execution, and its supply chain is better diversified, lowering operational risk. On the other hand, Atheleta faces several constraints. Its differentiation is limited. It remains heavily dependent on Gap Incorporated. Its operations are concentrated in North America, and its R&D capability is considerably weaker. Putting these pieces together, we conclude that Lululemon is much better positioned for long-term strategic success due to its brand strength, innovation engine, and global scalability. Next page. Based on the overall analysis from both assignments, our recommendation to the peer group is clear. Proceed with acquisition of Lululemon and do not pursue Atheleta or Gap Incorporated. Lululemon offers stronger strategic alignment, more reliable execution, better systems for managing long-term risks, and substantially higher growth potential. By contrast, Atheleta's dependence on Gap Incorporated, the risks of brand dilution, and its limited international reach makes it a weaker and delivers the superior strategic fit for Project Compass. So that's all of our presentation for today. Thank you so much for listening. And please feel free to contact us if you have any questions. And finally is our references. Thank you.